Yeah. So when we talk about hypnosis, hypnotherapy, okay, how long have you got to talk for?
45 minutes.
Okay, so very quickly, what I would do first, if we're talking hypnosis and hypnotherapy, I would ask who in the room thinks that they've been hypnotized. You can put your hand up if you've been hypnotized. Who believes they can be hypnotized? First, what you say is that hypnosis is something that is happening all the time. It's any time that your mind is thinking about everything other than what they're actually doing. They're in an altered state, and we call it an altered state. I always go into, if there are things in your life that you are doing and you can't stop doing them, then you are in trance of doing that thing, or else you wouldn't be able to stop. So you can kind of introduce yourself as, we don't actually hypnotize people. We take trances off people so that you have a choice to actually do what you want to do. If someone wants to lose weight, but they can't stop eating at nighttime, why can't they stop eating? Do you know what I mean? They're in a trance of that behavior. So when we work with people, it's not so much putting them to hypnosis and telling them from now on you're not going to eat. We work out why that behavior there is there, and it's usually from childhood or stuff that's going on, and we take that hypnotic state away. And so when you explain hypnosis that way, that we all go in and out of it, and what we're actually doing is then bringing them back to themselves again, so they have a choice. That's really important. You can say something like, if someone comes to me to stop drinking wine at night, my job is to not make them stop drinking wine at night. My job is to find out why they can't stop, and then to give them a choice. And once they have a choice, if they choose to have a glass of wine, they can own it. But at least they've got a choice. When you've got a choice, it's very easy to say no or to say yes. But most of the time, people are walking around in these hypnotic chances of doing things that they can't stop. So that's how you introduce hypnosis, and that's going to stop all the crappy questions. And that's a fact. That's what we're doing. We're not hypnotizing people to do something unless we're having fun with them. So, and then from there, you would go on to, so why can't people stop drinking? Or why can't somebody stop eating the biscuits? Or, why is it that people can't stop feeling anxious? And that's when you go into how, there are situations in our life that happen that cause our mind to be to develop these coping mechanisms. And the coping mechanisms might be eating, they might be holding weight, it might be drinking, it might be feeling anxious. And that when our mind is doing this, it's actually protecting us. It's not that we're broken or that we're useless, it's that our mind has developed these amazing coping mechanisms that were needed in our life at some point, but they're not needed now. And so what we need to do is remind the body and the mind that we're actually safe and we're okay, and get them back into their bodies into now. And that's when I go really into memory, but you don't need to do that. I go into who are we when we're broke, who are we when we're doing stupid things. And then the next biggest thing is, people want to know with hypnosis is that our job is getting someone where they want to go. And when our nervous system is overwhelmed and wired, our mind is totally focused on keeping us safe and alive. So everything that we see in our environment will be based on safety and survival, which of course is why we have to calm the nervous system down, why we have to do all these techniques and teach people resources. And then from there, if we are in a space where our body believes we're safe, it's still very hard to get where we want to go if we don't know where we want to go, right? And so with hypnosis, once we've actually worked out why the body is doing what it's doing, we've worked on calming the nervous system down, calming the parts of us that are playing up or doing these behaviors. Now, then it's very important that we have to work on what is it that the client actually wants. If you calm the nervous system down, what the brain will start to do in the environment, instead of always looking for threats and dangers, it will start moving us towards what we want. It will start showing us maybe a new job or a new partner or things that we have to, what we want. But if we don't actually know what it is that we want, then it's almost like shooting in the dark. And, you know, if you are in a really good loving space and your nervous system is calm, you're probably going to fall on your feet, right? But, you know, you're probably going to have good experiences happen, or you'll see things in a different way than if your nervous system was in fear mode. But at the same time, will you get where you want? Probably not until you know what that is. And so we use hypnosis to kind of one, find out what it is they want, to kind of to feel all that out. But once we have an idea, we can take people into an imagined future and get them to picture it and feel it, which actually tells the brain or gives an instruction for what the mind can point us towards. And so that is essentially what we do in a hypnosis session. Like, and doesn't matter what kind of session we do, we're doing those things. Yeah, so that's kind of the most important things to tell people if you are talking about it. And the other thing you could probably talk about is how our imagination really affects our physiology. Like we were talking earlier, I'll put this up on YouTube. We were talking earlier about how, you know, you can get someone to close their eyes and feel full, and then close your eyes and feel starving, or close your eyes and bring up pain or not. We're doing that 100% just using imagination. So if our imagination is powerful enough to create those feelings, then a lot of the stuff we're feeling in our reality, that's probably not good, is probably just made by our imagination, even down to pain, even down to illness. You know, what is imagination and what is real? So when you've got things going on in your life where maybe you've got stuff going on in your body and you've gone to the doctor and they're saying nothing's wrong with you, and you've gone to a counselor or a psychologist and you've been put on meds but you don't feel better, you've done all of the things that you need to do to get better but nothing's working, that's where hypnosis comes in, because it's most likely your imagination creating physiological responses in your body. And we can deal with that stuff easily. We can deal with that kind of stuff because we use the imagination to change that. Cool, I'll press stop.